books that I've read for the last 40 years. And today I have my special guest. She's a founder, speaker, and chief storyteller, and the Rebel Girl Marketing, and of course, an author too, and the author of the book, The Rebel Girl's Guide to Marketing. No other than Miss Lisa Raebel.
Hello. Good to be here.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me on your podcast.
Welcome, Miss Lisa on Book 101 Review. And can you please introduce more about yourself that I miss?
Okay. Well, my name is Lisa Raebel. Like he said, my company name is Rebel Girl Marketing. And I launched a book back in 2023 called Rebel Girl's Guide to Marketing. Now, people ask me how long it took me to write the book. And I said 30 years. Because
Hmm.
quite honestly, what happens is that the knowledge that you gather and the mistakes that you make along the way are the things that actually led to writing the book. Because I started my career in sales for 12 years, and then after some time I realized sales is not my love language, so I moved to focusing on my marketing career, which is what my degree is in. So for me, what happened is that sales aspect of that, when I first started into my professional career, really helped me better understand marketing. So that's what the book is all about, is how sales and marketing need to play nice in the sandbox.
Yes, and thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world, Miss Lisa. You deserve an applause for that. Thank you. The title is Rallying Cry. What are the most common, exhausting, random acts of marketing you see talented entrepreneurs and creators wasting their energy on, and why are they so seductive?
Well, honestly, most entrepreneurs don't, when they do their business strategy for the year, they don't include their marketing strategy. Marketing is almost like an afterthought. It's kind of like,
Mhm.
oh, I'm having the sale, I better tell somebody in the sales next week. They don't really like strategize about the business growth, and they incorporate marketing into that. They think marketing is just for selling stuff and getting customers and lead gen, when actually marketing is so much more than that. So instead of just, on Friday, all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't do a social post, I should throw something up, the last hour of the day. Like, what is it that marketing is going to do to help your business grow? And obviously part of that is gaining new clients and sales, but it's marketing is so much more than just social media posts, ads, radio ads, all of that. And so
Mhm.
my job with this book is I wanted to teach people how my sales experience and like my marketing experience after being a marketing director in corporate for a while really blended into like, how does that apply to small businesses? Because I think we tend to forget small businesses. We want to go for the big bucks and the big boys and make all the money, where I find that helping small businesses not only pays revenue, but it also really, it fills my cup. It gives me joy to make sure that small businesses stay in business. Because as you and I both know, every big business started out one day as a small business.
Definitely, they have a baby step that before they become bigger and bigger and bigger. You're
Exactly.
advocating for a rebel approach. In the context of marketing, does being a rebel mean breaking the rules, or does it mean intuitively understanding the deeper rule book that most people miss?
Well, the rebel part of it is that we try to fit in. And I think marketing is about making you stand out. It's about making you very, very memorable. One of the things that I like to say is, don't be the person that they Google, be the person that they remember when they need what you sell. So for me, I want to be top of mind when somebody says, I need marketing strategy. I want my network and my advocates and my past customers all to go, oh, I got a girl for you. Like, I know somebody who can do that for you. They're not thinking about anybody else. They think of me first. And marketing is about being top of mind. It's not about selling more stuff.
Mhm. So, Miss Lisa, for a woman who feels overwhelmed and inauthentic posting on social media, what is the first random act she should stop doing immediately to create space for more strategic approach?
Um, That's a really great question because a lot of people they want to sell stuff. And again, I'm going
Mm,
to, I'm going to keep coming back to this, but the rule of thumb is, inform, 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 then sell. Like add value, inform, like, and then like the fifth thing is like an ask for a sale. So how do you add value? How do you show people that you're solving problems for your customers? How do you show people that you're filling a gap in their business or in their life or providing joy? What is it that you're giving people by them working with you or buying your product? What problem do you solve? Tell them that first. There's an old saying is that people want to tell you like how they do the business, but they don't tell you the outcome. There's that old saying
mhm.
like, I don't want to know how the sausage is made. I just want to know that dinner tastes good. And people focus on how I do it. They don't focus on the outcomes for the customer because honestly, the only thing the customer really cares about is, are you going to provide that solution? Are you going to fill that gap in their
Mm,
life? And so the biggest mistake people do is they say, well, this is how I'm going to do it and this is why you should buy from me, but they don't say this is how I make your life better.
mhm.
It's all in the
Life
content.
better. Yes, to make life better and remove the inconvenience. People love
Yes.
convenience. Let's talk about the car
Yeah.
philosophy strategy over spray and pray. Let's define the alternative, which is not a random. What is it? Is your method for about building a magnetic system, cultivating a genuine conversation, or something else entirely, Miss
Yeah,
Lisa?
the spray and pray is the whole like everybody needs my product and I can sell to anybody. And there's a quote out there that's not me. Her name is Meredith Hill, and she says, "If you sell to everyone, you're selling to no one." I'm pretty sure that's who said that. Don't quote me on that quote, but and I love that saying because one of the very first chapters is who are you selling to? And so the point of that is that if you're spending marketing dollars on Facebook ads or LinkedIn ads or spending the biggest commodity that you spend on your marketing honestly is time. So if you're
Mm-hmm.
spending all of this time on doing your marketing and writing the content and stuff, you want to talk to the people you actually want to work with. Because we've
Yes.
all had clients that like their caller ID comes up on your cell phone and you're just like, oh my gosh. You have to like take a minute before you answer the phone. We want to avoid those clients and get the clients as like, oh yay, somebody else, Joe Smith is calling me and he's a great client. Like you want those clients. So defining your ideal client is one of the first two steps first two steps that I do in the strategy. Because if you don't know who you're talking to everyone, and that's a major random act in your marketing strategy.
Interesting, Miss Lisa. And you likely argue that effective marketing starts with the radical self awareness. How does a rebel girl conduct a personal audit to identify her unique voice, her true audience, and a specific change she wants to create?
So one of the first things that we do when I work with clients is find your why. And I'm not trying to steal Simon Sinek's "Find Your Why." I'm not trying to do that
Hmm.
at all. But people start a business for a reason,
True.
and they pick an industry for a reason. And a lot of people, when I work with them, I had a roofing client, and I'd say, well, why did you start the business? And I got the normal reasons, right? It's what I know, it's good money, it's what I've always done. And those aren't the real reasons why. So when we got down to it, this business owner said, I want to walk away from a project knowing that the people inside that building are safe.
Hmm.
That's a better why than you need a new roof or like you need your roof repaired, right? Everybody
Yes.
doesn't, nobody people relate to that. So we created this entire campaign around safety and the roof and how it's really this protecting the people in the business inside of the building. And that helped tremendously differentiate him from all the other roofers out there. So going back to that why you started your business in the first place and using that in your marketing will differentiate you from everybody else. So my why is my dad was in theater. I'm horrible at theater. I can't remember a line to save my life. I cannot sing a note on key. I can't hit my mark and act and all that. I mean, tremendous. But I love
Mhm.
storytelling, and marketing is a great
Storytelling.
way of doing storytelling. And I love it. My favorite thing is when I see somebody, even when I'm on a stage and I see their eyes light up, like that aha moment of
Mhm.
finally understanding why they're in business and how it hits them here, instead of just up in their brain. They're hitting it in the heart, and that is my favorite moment in what I do. So that's the finding out why you started your business in the first place is a really good reason how to differentiate yourself and how to really put emotion into your marketing.
Yes, people know your why and then
Yeah.
how, when, where.
Yep. Who?
So, and who,
Yes.
definitely. So, Miss Lisa, many feel pressure to be on every platform. What's your framework for choosing the right home base? Channel is about audience, medium, or where authentic expression flows most naturally.
Yes. So I always go back to find out where you found your first like 5, 10 great clients. Not any client, but your first like 5, 10 clients that you would want another 10, 20 of them. And
Mm-hmm.
then was it referrals? Did they see a LinkedIn post? Was it during networking? So find out how you found those clients and then go there again. And I can't stress this enough, especially when you're first starting out or you're trying to kind of do this control alt delete of like, I'm just in too many places and I got to figure out where to go. Start with 2 places and do them really, really well, and then start adding more marketing channels onto your marketing. But if you find out where your best clients came from, start there and then put your time and money and effort into that. And again, we can always make more money, but we can't get time back. So, time management and really valuing that how much money, time you're spending on your marketing is something to really evaluate when it comes to not doing random acts.
Mm-hmm. You talk about a guide, Miss Lisa. What does a Rebel Girls marketing plan look like? Is it a fluid map, a set of principles, or a focus of campaign blueprint? How is it different from corporate marketing plan?
Well, we're not all Coca-Cola. So,
Mhm.
we don't have, $100 million to spend on trying to find a new tagline. So what my plan is we start from the beginning. So one of the things that we lose sight of when, especially as we're like 2, 3, 5, 10 years into our business, is we lose sight of the foundational reason of the business itself. So, one of the things that I make sure that we talk about is like what you sell, because we love to talk about features and benefits, but we
Yes.
stopped talking about the problems we solve and the emotions that are tied to them. And every decision you make is based on an emotion. Even if you're standing at the grocery line and you're picking a different type of mint gum, there's a one that's going to stick out to you and there's an emotional attachment to it, whether you know it or not. And so for me, I like to pull everything back. No matter how long you've been in business, let's go back to the foundational questions of why did you start your business? What is it that you sell and the problems that you solve? And how do your customers feel when they work with you? And then we go into who are those customers we want to target? And then where do they hang out? And then once we know where they hang out, then we can create the content of what to say while we're there, because you're not going to say the same thing on a billboard as you are as a social media ad. You're not going to say the same thing on a radio ad as you are going to be in some kind of a print ad. And so, really knowing where your marketing is, creating the content is literally the last step. And so, I like to take people back to the foundational questions, and it really helps them clear the clutter of all the stuff that's available to us. There's so much out there. There's so many articles saying emails the answer to your problems, or LinkedIn ads is the answer to your problems, and
Hmm.
it's not for everybody. So let's go back to the
Yes.
foundational questions of why are you in business? What does your product solve? Who are we solving it for? Where are they hanging out? And then what are we going to say when we get there? So that's what I do.
Hmm. Let's talk about the visibility, Miss Lisa. For many, It's terrifying. How does your method reframe visibility from look at me to here is the value I hold that might serve you?
Yeah, we've been told all of our lives to like not boast, and anybody who boasts, they're bragging and things like that. And I
Hmm.
really, and I'm not saying go out there and say like look at me, look at me. And so it's very important to make sure that your content and the things that you do is about your customers. If you have trouble talking about yourself, which as a business owner I understand how hard that is, it's easier to talk about the problems that you solve for your customers. So instead of saying, I'm a lawyer or I'm a divorce lawyer and I help you like make sure that you get the most out of what you do. You know, I I have a friend who she doesn't love marketing, but she talks about how I make sure that in such a trying time that it's a peaceful agreement, and that I make sure that, it doesn't negatively affect your family, that it's amicable on both sides. And she kind of creates this peace around what she does. And so she doesn't talk about herself. She talks about the results she gets for her clients. And that's easier to talk about than talking about yourself. And so if it's difficult for you to talk about like your accomplishments and all of those things, first of all, I think that's silly because you work very hard for those accomplishments. So it's okay to talk about it. Here's a perfect example. I have a client who's a real estate, and she won like the Millionaires Award or something like that. Like she's been working towards this for years, and she's like, "Should I tell people?" And I'm like, "Yes, you worked really hard to get this award. It's
Yes.
not bragging. It's saying, I know what I'm talking about because." Look, I got this award and I've helped this many people. You just have to reframe it from being about yourself to being about your customer base.
Definitely celebrate those small wins, people. As a founder, Miss Lisa, speakers, as well as, well, an author, what are your short term and long term goals?
Oh, short term is I my goals are around how many people I help this year. I don't have revenue goals or anything like that. I have helping people goals. So like what I've incorporated this year is a lot more free content on my social media, which is LinkedIn and Facebook
Yes.
mostly, and about how I the training that I normally give people that, you know, like at a speaking event, I'm doing Wednesday workshops. So the first Wednesday of every month, I'm giving away free content from the book, um, little snippets here and there. And so my goal is to help more people in 2026. Long-term goals is I have a second book. It's an e-workbook. It's on my website. It's not out on Amazon. But my is to write a third book and also to get my ebook out in more of a print format, because again it's a workbook. It's about applying what you learn to your own business instead of just
Mhm.
conceptual and like this is a nice idea, maybe someday I'll do it. It's like, no, you can't move on to the next step until you like answer these questions, and sometimes they're hard questions. So my long-term goals is to get, a third book out, and to get on some more stages, because I I it's just fun for me to do public speaking. I know I'm crazy, but it is.
Mhm. Good luck to your goals, Miss Lisa, and looking forward for more success. And what will be a piece
Thanks.
of advice for those people that don't want to be like you?
Well, one, good luck, and I'm sorry. No, well, so for me, it's more of it's an absolute a mindset shift. I have done a lot of work on myself over the years, as well as, gone to a lot of resources to have that mindset shift. And when you're feeling overwhelmed, the best thing to do is to figure out, well, one, why you're overwhelmed. And it's not your to-do list. It's not.
Mhm.
It has a lot to do with mindset. So for me, I did a lot of studying on mindset, and understanding why you think the way you do, what your fears are and why you're afraid of them. And it really helps you in business. It helps me so much in business to like make sure that my mindset is straight before I go and I do anything. Before I step on a stage, I walk into a client's, walk through the door of a client's location. Before I hop on a podcast, I spend time in mindset and making sure that the people that I'm standing in front of, whether it's virtual or in person, that I'm giving them the best part of myself. And so for me, the best thing I would say is figure out your mindset.
Thank you for that advice, Miss Lisa. And can you please recommend a book or books that influence your journey?
So the first book I would recommend, it's called QBQ by John G. Miller. The book is called The Question Behind the Question. And it has to do with mindset, but it really has to do with communication as well, both interpersonal communication with the people you work with, but also with clients as well. It's a really quick read. It's a lot of story form, so it's very easy to understand. So QBQ by John G. Miller, that's the first one I would recommend. The second one I would recommend was The Infinite Game, and that's by Simon Sinek. And it talks about the difference between, he does a lot of research with the fixed mindset and the open mindset. And the infinite game is about, life is a game, but it's an infinite game, and how it's never to reach a goal, an end goal. It's like it's reformatting how you're thinking, and it frees up a lot of space when maybe a goal isn't met, or maybe when a goal is exceeded, and how you use that to just further benefit yourself, the people around you, the ripple effect of a positive attitude, and your business. So those are two books that have really shaped me in how I do my business. And you could buy my
Thank
book too if you really want to.
Yeah, highly recommended for sure, especially for marketing purposes. Is how to market people. So you need to read this Rebel Girls Guide to Marketing. And thank you for the recommended books, Miss
Of
Lisa.
course.
So for the listeners who's ready to ditch randomness but doesn't know where to start, what is the one single strategic rebel assignment you give to her for this week?
The one assignment for this week, I would say that the one assignment is to like sit down with. I just finished Shahil Bloom's the five types of wealth, and he talks about um, think afternoons. There's no computer, there's no phone, there's nothing. It's just you and cup of coffee, cup of tea, whatever you'd like, a piece of, a pad of paper and a pen, and just write. Write a to-do list, write like what your goals are, write all of the things without any distractions, and just have a think afternoon to really be able to get all that stuff out of your head and onto a piece of paper. And then from there, prioritize what you're really looking for. Because one of the things you might put on there is fire a client, and so it's really a good way of just dumping everything in your brain onto a piece of paper without distractions, and really helping you get that chaos and clutter out of your head, and be able to focus and be intentional with your time going forward.
Hmm. Well, Miss Lisa, before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people, because my Abstract Essay is already in sixth season, Abstract Poetry in third season, and of course, my Book 101 review in sixth season as well, Comedy 101 in third season, and my Food 101 in sixth season as well, Geography 101 Love Letters, Movie 101 review, Music 101, our fifth season, Science 101, Sex 101, fourth season, Trivia 101, Law 101, Mental Health 101, Motivation 101, Entrepreneurship 101, and of course, my Bible Verses 101 are my baby podcasts. So please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So, Miss Lisa, if any of entrepreneurial women took this guide to heart, how would it reshape the cultural landscape of marketing itself, making it more human, strategic, and powerful?
Mm, you asked really great questions, and
Thank you.
I would say that the best thing is to do is to not listen to anybody but yourself.
definitely. Don't care what people say about you. Go, go, go. Make
Go.
this.
Yeah.
Go to the marketing and launch your products, right, Miss Lisa?
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
so can you please invite our listeners to support your book, your business, or whatever projects that you're doing right now?
Yeah, so if you go to LinkedIn or into Facebook, either Rebel Girl Marketing's pages or Lisa Raebel, then you can find the first Wednesday workshop, which is about the power of your pitch and how to teach you how to make a great introductory pitch. And then I have several different ways of working with me as far as the strategy is concerned. And I will be launching my own podcast in February. So looking forward to that.
Yes. Looking forward for that, Miss Lisa. And if you want tips, I will give you tips for creating a podcast. Okay. So
Thanks.
I'm inviting you to please do come over to my Entrepreneurship 101 and let's promote your book, your business, your podcast. Let's empower fellow podcaster. So people,
Yes.
let's support Miss Lisa Raebel because if you support her, for sure, more and more empowering advocacy like this to rise. So Miss Lisa, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
More to come, people. See you soon.